Hey YouTubers, hey, someone made a comment yesterday and asked me about some stump grinding techniques or giving a little more knowledge about actual stump grinding other than the repairs I show you about. I'll just make this quick, show you some deals. First of all, today I'm not running a big machine, I'm still playing around doing final maintenance with it. Today I'm running, let me see it here, the ZT. Okay, and before I show you about the stump part, hey, on stump grinding, I used to own a tree service 20 years ago. Now all I do is stump grinding. I'm a retired fireman also. I like stump grinding better than the tree service part because I have no employees. It's just me. Workman's comp. I'm able to use that. Oh, I forgot what it's called. I'm not required because I'm the sole proprietor, and it saves me a lot of money. I do carry insurance, carry $1 million worth of insurance, because I do jobs for companies that do the streets, sidewalks, things like that. Today I'm at a construction site for a new home. Got the smaller machine, but they're good sized stumps. They'll pay well. First of all, I'm going to tell you something very important, because I see other stump grinders that don't do this. Not necessarily on YouTube, but in my area. You see these here? These are, I think, 3M. They have a radio in them. They're really good sound protection. I listen to talk radio or music when I'm doing stumps. Makes the day go by faster. But I will never grind a stump without ear protection. For 20 years, I've always worn ear protection. In the fire service, on the trucks and all, I wore ear protections. They were called Dave Clark headsets. I know guys that are around me and personal friends of mine that are going deaf, okay, from chainsaws. Even when I'm running a chainsaw, I wear these. Other guys, they wear the earplugs, but I like these. And eye protection, these are safety sunglasses. I have clear ones too. I've also got some kind of a goggle system. On the ZT, I'm further enough away that I'm not worried about anything hitting my face. When I'm running my bigger machine, I'm closer up. The controls are closer. I will wear a flap down screen with the earmuffs on it. And today I'm doing red oaks. Red oaks produce a real fine chip. But let me switch this around and show you a couple little tricks, okay? Maybe it helps somebody. You know, if it does, it does. If it don't, it don't. Hey, what the hell? Plus, remember, like, subscribe, make a comment. As long as it's a constructive comment, make a comment. If it's a piece of shit comment, I'll delete you. Thanks, bud. Bye-bye. All right, here we are. So red oak, people call you on the phone, they give you one measurement, yada yada, it's never the right measurement. But hey, I'm going to show you how I do it and how I charge. All right, if you don't have a tape measure on you, I charge by diameter inch. I have a size 12 boot, okay? Now, I want to show you something because homeowners don't understand this. Even some of my tree guys don't understand this after all the years. See the cut mark here going straight across? That's not where I charge from, okay? Even though this is cut close to the ground, it's got a flare, okay? And you know there's going to be stump over here, so I charge from right here. Then I go straight across, the widest part, okay? You don't have a tape measure? I got size 12. Look, I'm starting right there, see? I'll walk it across. This is a 5.5 foot stump. So 5.5 foot times, contractors get $3 a diameter inch. Homeowners get $3.50 to $4, depends. Sometimes they may go up to $4.50 or $5. If it's something complicated, I got to go up a staircase or whatever, I'll add to that. Or I have to drive for a little further out, I'll add to my windshield time. Okay, my windshield time is worth my time. Some of you guys are getting a lot more money for stumps, but you got to remember where you live. You might be in New York, New Jersey. You might be in LA, California, where it's a higher cost of living. I'm out here in the Midwest, okay? Things are cheaper here, okay? I'm in a really nice neighborhood here. I grind in an urban, suburban environment, okay? These houses, this one here is about 2,000 square feet or whatever. But in this neighborhood, that house is probably $400,000. Go to New York, that'd be $1 million house, okay? So, you know, things are different and priced differently everywhere. I started grinding. This is a red oak. It produces smaller chips, okay? When I grind, I see different guys grinding different ways. I start further out, okay? I grab that crest. It's easier on my machine. I go through, start grinding, go through it that way. On the smaller machine, I'll go halfway through this stump. I'll turn around, come in from the other way. That way I for sure got it. This one's being ground about 8 inches deep. Deep enough for what they want. I don't have to go down and get every bit of stump out of here, okay? Certain people, if you request that, I charge you a little bit more. But for just having a lawn going back here, this is a new home construction area. They've got heavy equipment. They'll scrape it. It's fine. They just want the major part of the stump out. So that's what I'll do for them, right? And I don't remove chips, okay? I used to when I first started. I don't do it anymore. I can sub that out to a landscaper or a yard guy who needs the money, or a weekend handyman type guy or kid. I could sub it out, and I could actually make money on them coming out and doing something like that. But most of the time I give it all to them. Hey, they're happy, I'm happy, you're happy, we're all happy, right? Anyway, like I say, I'll come back over here when I get halfway through it, and then I'll run the machine all the way around, make sure everything's cut up around. And there's no real science to this, except for I see guys, and I've even seen manufacturers on YouTube. You can get away with it on a large machine or even a real small stump. I've seen guys coming over the top and grinding here. They think that's how you grind a stump. It's too hard on the machine. It's almost like boring, okay? Like you're trying to bore through this wood, and it depends on the kind of wood and tree. This, you come from the outer edge, you grind, and you go in, okay? So you're grinding dirt a little bit, right? But you're grabbing that outer crest, and then you come in, all right? You come in a little bit, and then you're always raising your wheel up and get the fresh meat, the fresh cut, okay? I'll show you, I'll stop halfway through this so you can see, and I'll restart it and show you where I'm at, and I'll give you a little more advice. All right, I wanted to show you something. Been grinding for about 5 minutes. I'm over halfway done with this stump. This is a red oak. Red oaks produce fine chips, okay? Different species of trees, when you grind them, give you a different kind of chip. A lot of your softer woods will give you a big ass chip, okay? Look something like that, all right? And they can build up behind or in front of your tracks or your wheels, especially on your smaller machines. You'll have to move them out of the way or back the grinder up with the wheel engaged, clear out a little bit, come back in. All right. But what I wanted to talk to you about really is about grinding, okay? What you're going to be grinding is this. See this part here? This lip? You're going to be taking that lip off, coming down, taking another piece of lip, coming down, taking another piece of lip. All right. And the reason why I come from further out in the stump, I set my depth there. Then I come in. Then I know what I'm coming in at and what depth I'm going to maintain while I go through the stump. Okay? And what I do is when I get my last cut down here, I move the wheel up, move the wheel machine forward, take another cut, slice, wheel up, come back up, slice. That's how I do it. All right? And because you'll see a problem with a lot of guys too. If you don't set that depth that you're going through, you're going to be grinding. This stump's still down there, okay? All right. Here, when you're grinding the corners off here, you're grinding with this much of your tooth, all right? And that much surface probably, right? Now, when you go deeper, more of your wheel, almost half your wheel is coming down. It's almost like you're boring. It'll start bogging your machines. Even on bigger machines, it will start bogging them, you know. And that's when you get a lot of wear, and you put an extra stress on your bearings and all too, doing it that way. So you come in, you make nice slices. Like this, I make 3 slices. 1, drop, cross, another one, drop, my 3rd slice. I have my depth already set. I move forward and come in that way, all right? And I listen to the engine, okay? Even with those headphones on, I can still hear the engine, right? And so when I'm moving my hydraulic levers, I'm feathering it. When I hear the engine slowing down a little bit, I'll back off. let the motor catch up. Everything's running at the same speed. Sometimes when you got rotted wood or whatever, you could pull full throttle and just be swinging like you see the big machines doing. On a smaller machine, like 252s, if they have auto sweep, what it does is controls your cutter wheel and your motor, keeps them always at the same RPM. It'll stop your sideways swing. It'll slow it down to keep everything matched up. All right, if you don't have auto sweep, your auto sweep, you just listen to the motor while you're cutting and you adjust your hydraulic lever if you pull. Slow it down. Okay, I mean, after doing a few stumps, you'll learn this, But like I said before, if you own a company, a tree company, only let yourself or another one of your employees run the machine. Don't let every Tom, Dick, and Harry run your machine. They'll beat the living shit out of it, They don't care. They'll stop the wheel, they'll push too aggressively, And remember, sharp teeth make the machine last longer too. It's less wear and tear on the machine. You'll know you got dull teeth. You'll be pulling big ass chips out all, and the motor you feel like, man, this thing ain't cutting with the crap. It's a shitty machine. First thing you need to check, are your teeth dull? A lot of tree companies run dull teeth. Because they just use their stump grinder on their jobs. They're not out doing stump grinding as a living. They're just taking down their tree, doing their own stump. Okay, so, they don't mind, or they don't pay attention to a stump grinder like you and I would if you're in the stump grinding business by itself. All right? Anyway, that's all for today. Next time I'll tell you a little more about the business, or if you got questions on how to get business, or these are all things that how I did it. I'm blessed because mine is contractor based. I basically grind for 35 contractors, okay? And they're between tree companies, concrete companies, municipal companies, and I'm blessed that way, okay? I do 75% contractor based, 25% homeowner, okay? My brother's in the business, used to work for me. His is basically 25% contractors, 75% homeowners, okay? He charges a little bit more, but I'm out every day. He's still an active firefighter and all too, so it works out for him better too. If you got any questions at all, please post them in the comments. I'll try to answer them. And you know what? I'm on my way out. I'm getting older. If I could share anything with you, I'll share it with you. Some guys tell me I'm stupid for sharing and giving up business secrets or whatever. They're not secrets to me. It's just, hey, us to us, all right? Another good thing too, I'm going to tell you this, maybe you're not a big reader or anything, but there's a light book written back in the 1930s. It'll help you in your business no matter what you do for a living. It's called How to Win Friends and Influence People. It helped me in the fire service. It helped me in the public domain. It helped me in the stump grinding business. Basically, it's a book that teaches you how not to be a dick, all right? Because truly, some guys are in this business as tree service and other businesses that I know. I don't know how they're in business. They have terrible attitudes, and I think they get their business out of people just not being able to find anyone else. So I'd rather be known as a nice, good businessman rather than a dick or a prick. All right. It's called How to Win Friends and Influence People. You'll find it anywhere. I think it was Dale Carnegie wrote it in the 1930s. Simple read, easy read. And I don't care if you're not a fan of Donald Trump, but he uses it too. Because if you ever notice, when he has someone, an employee that does something really well, he'll compliment them 2 or 3 times. You're the best, you're the greatest, you're the best. I do it to my homeowners. I find something about their property. I mean, I said, oh, that's a beautiful pool, or your car, man, that car looks fantastic, or your driveway, stamped concrete. Yeah, I don't know who did your work, but it did a great job. Compliment your customer. You know why? It comes back to you tenfold over. All right? Anyway, it's Saturday, ain't Sunday. But remember, if you're not learning something every day, you must be dead, or, I'll say it to you, you're an asshole. Have a great day, guys.